Hi and good evening and welcome to THFC Till I Die, your home of Tottenham past, present and what would you call it, Philip?
Back to the Future?
Back to the Future. Something like that.
Yeah, part 3.
Part 4.5. Yeah, well listen, welcome, thank you and hope everyone enjoys this podcast. It's just going over the week we've had all the news, try to come up to date, and also bring you some breaking news as from Monday. And I will read it out to you again. I've been told this afternoon that the manager job at Spurs is his if he chooses to take the job. It could be done by Monday or Tuesday, Philip. And who are we talking about, Philip?
We're talking about Mr. Ange Postecoglou, who has just received a hero's reception at Hampden Park with the Celtic fans after they've won the Scottish Cup for the 41st time. They really love him up there. And from listening to the players talking after the game, the players adore him. So I think if we can get this guy in, get him in.
I mean, he looked like he was saying goodbye, didn't he, Philip?
He's a guy who keeps his emotions fairly close to his chest. Now, he wasn't showing a lot, but the commentators were of that opinion. It looked like he was saying goodbye, and it also looked like it looks to me as if the team. Well, I think they were asked straight out, basically, what do you think? And none of them would comment, which leads me to believe they know what's happening. They know that he's going, because if he was definitely staying, they probably would have said it, Dermot's gone.
Oh, I'm back. Sorry. No, but look. For me, we have to get it done, Philip, one way or the other. And for what I'm hearing, it will be done. It could be done as late as Monday evening, if not Tuesday morning at the very latest. So, he is now out of contract at Celtic. So there's nothing to pay compensate. The only thing I can see is, will he want to leave?
Yeah.
After the reception, and then what would Desmond will
Desmond, and Rod Stewart. Now Rod Stewart was there as well. It will be an emotional time for him leaving. But I mean, let's just look at what the guy's done at Celtic. When he came into Celtic, they were an absolute rabble.
Yeah.
They just lost the league to Rangers for the first time in God knows how long. And he came into a team that was down on his bootstraps. Yeah. And he absolutely lifted them up. 3 trophies this season, a treble, the most successful team treble-wise in the world ever. And the only trophy he missed out on last season was the Scottish FA Cup, which is now rectified tonight. So the guy's won 5 trophies out of 6 in 2 seasons when he came into a team that couldn't win an argument.
And also Joe Hart's, I think, the 3rd player in history to win a treble up in Scotland and a treble in England as well.
Yeah, I know. So just shows you have to leave
a domestic treble, not a. Just very quickly, also Philip, with Manchester City winning the FA Cup today.
Yeah.
Them competing a double, a domestic double, but going for the treble as well.
Yeah.
Do you feel that they could do it? And they could
follow I have no doubt they will, because unless Inter Milan absolutely play out of their skin next week, I think Man City will win that game comfortably. Now, I'll tell you one thing, fair dues to United. United made it very difficult for them today. And in fact, I think they could have nicked a draw at the end there when they hit the bar close to the end. So it wasn't a great performance by City. Haaland did practically nothing. He was really well marked out of the game. He one shot that I remember. So, it's never over till it's over. But fair play to Ten Hag. He nearly got it right today. Not quite, but nearly got it right.
Okay, Philip. Well, do you want to go through the banners? I'll just go and sort that other thing out for you.
Yeah,
and then I'll be back.
Yeah, I'll just go through to say hello to a few people in the chat first. I'll just go back up to the start here. Bear with me 1 second. Here we go. The first one is from Leicester. David Clark. How are you, David? Are you still getting used to your team? Well, not your team, but your town's team being in the championship. Hi from Leicester. Just came from my patio. Hope everyone is well. What a beautiful day. I'm sure it's the same over in England. It's absolutely gorgeous here today.
Just very quickly, Philip, is that better?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, good. Okay, good. Yes, sorry.
And Wilton McDonald is in the house saying, good evening, Dermot and Philip. Good evening to you, Wilton. How are you keeping? And Andrew Gregory, good evening, Dermot and Philip. Andrew, you're very welcome in, as per usual. And Wilton is just another comment from Wilton thing. I've just finished watching the Scottish Cup final. Not a lot to go by, because we are talking about 2 leagues that are miles apart. We are, of course we are. Yeah, we're not disputing that. But we're talking about a manager who's every side or international side that he's been with, he's improved them no end. Australia, the Japanese league, and now Celtic. As I was saying a minute ago, Celtic were on their uppers when he joined them. 2 years, he's turned them around completely.
Mm.
He's the most dominant force in Scotland there's been for a long time.
And Philip, look, we get on with the comments more than comes to me, but you look what he's done up at Celtic.
Yeah,
They're now the world's most broken record for
successful treble team,
treble winning side.
Yeah,
he's done it on very little money.
Yeah,
and I tell you one thing: the likes of Jota, Kukugu,
yeah,
and also their captain, I have them at Spurs in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah, but they were. Well, I mean, I don't know. I certainly he's got an eye for talent. I mean, he's brought those few lads in from the Japanese league, and more. They've come in under the radar at very little money. And look at the guy that scored the first goal today. 34 goals this season. He's the first Japanese player to be the leading goal scorer in a major league ever, apart from the Japanese league, obviously.
Yeah.
So he's just got an eye for talent, and if he can do that at Tottenham, okay. There'll probably be eyebrows raised at some of the people he brings in, but I trust his judgment. I think if he can spot a player they can get for 10 million, why pay 30 or 40 for someone who mightn't be as good as them? So we've got to give him a chance. We've got to give him a chance.
And also, he wasn't very committed on his interview on the BBC apparently about his future. But
I didn't see that. I
just read it in one of the chats that he wasn't committed to Celtic. So and I took Dermot, what's his name? Dermot Desmond. His face looked as long as anything. Do you know, they just want to treble. I think he'd be happy. And he looked as miserable as the back end of a sow.
If you didn't know who he was, you'd think he was a chairman of the opposing team.
Yeah, seriously. Honestly,
you're right now. He actually looked like someone. It looked like he dropped a fiver and picked up a pound coin. You know?
He was just sitting there going, Anyway, David Clark saying a bit of shocking news. My daughter-in-law went to the Beyonce concert. I think so did Ellie girls as well. They went as well. Went in the Spurs club shop where there were both Beyonce and Spurs merchandise, but was told they were not allowed to sell Spurs gear.
Yeah, I'm surprised there was Spurs gear there because I know at the NFL games all the Spurs merchandise is completely removed. Completely removed. So you see, it's the money from the Beyonce merchandise would not have been going to Tottenham.
No, it'd be going
to Beyonce. So that's why they couldn't mix up the sale. So it's unfortunate if somebody wanted to buy Spurs gear, but I can see why they've done it.
Big up to Ryan, Tottenham Forever says hi, Dermo and Philip. Big up, Ryan. And how is the weather like in Ireland? Well, in Wexford, it's like being in the south of France, being in Wexford. It really is.
Yeah,
What's it like up in Leitrim?
I'm up in the west of Ireland now, and it's 24 degrees today. It's an absolutely gorgeous evening.
Yeah, I did get the right county this time, didn't I, Philip?
Yeah, I told you. If you got it wrong again, I'll have words with you.
Well, Kildare are playing Dublin tonight, so I think Dave will be watching.
Kildare were on the same pitch as Dublin. I wouldn't say they played them because they got hammered. But anyway,
did they lose?
By 9 points.
Oh, well, I haven't talked to Dave yet. I will send them a message.
No, send them a mass card or something.
Yeah, a mass card. You want to trip me? Oh, now that's another. If we ever win the All Ireland, you won't see me for a month. I'll be celebrating.
Yeah, I think I'll join you.
Yeah, Lee Richards put I can't say his name. Postacoglu looked like someone who was saying goodbye at the end of the game to me.
Yeah, it could be taken that way. Yeah, it could be. He looks sad. He looks sadder than he should have done after winning a cup.
Yeah. Darren said it will be difficult, I think, for City against Inter. Well, look,
maybe.
I'm going back to 1977, Philip, the year I was born. You would remember this now. Liverpool were going for the treble, the league, the FA Cup, the European Cup, and they lost the FA Cup to Arsenal and won the European Cup, so they've done a double. Could Man City fall into that same path, or do you think they will match United? And it's a game you will be able to see live. We're doing a watch along to that game. That will be a historic night. One with the other. I don't think Philip's around. I think Philip is.
No, I'm not around that night.
He's going to the Mayo convention of another year of public. Yeah, where you go?
No, I have a function to go to up near Dublin. So
basically,
I'll be watching the match. The do incorporate watching the match, but I just won't be able to.
Basically, he's not going to a party. He's Operation Glasgow. He's going up to Glasgow to take.
Might not need to by that stage. We might have him at that stage. Oh God.
But Rob Belcher, big up Rob, he says, I'm very impressed with how Ange has got hold of the Celtic team and basically turned them around. I know it's a Scottish league, but the players have bought in, have been good investments.
Yeah.
Even Derval said to me tonight, now she watched the end of the FA Cup final with me, and then watched we had a bit of a talk about Jack Grealish, which I called him a traitor. And I think you're the same, Philip.
Yeah.
Derval sort of disagreed with me, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
And then we watched the Celtic game. And she turned around to me at the end of the match and said, if Spurs play like that, she says, she was hooked to the game because of how Celtic played.
Yeah.
And
they really are good to watch. Yeah. Good to watch.
Because it was a good match.
It was a good match. And
A really good match.
Could Spurs, could he bring that to Tottenham? Or are the players, right, look, we had it on the potch. And then we went our merry way of God knows where we went for the last 4 years, Philip. Could the players that are there now play the way Celtic play?
They could, yeah, absolutely. I think what's happened to our team this season, the Conte way was doing their head in, for want of a better word. And they weren't able to express themselves. They were rigidly told to stick to this particular pattern. Now that hopefully Postecoglou is coming in, I think he will say, listen, lads, this is the way I want it. It's 4-3-3 all the way, high press, high attack, on the front foot all the time. And the boys will be saying, hallelujah.
Yeah.
That's what we want. And they will adjust their game accordingly. Good players can play any system, but it's very hard for them to play a system they don't want to play, or they don't like to play, or they don't. I think is alien to the way the team should be playing. So if he comes in next season and as long as he can shore up our defense, the amount of goals that we scored this season, allied to a good defense, equals a trophy.
Yeah, it does.
You know?
It's just the defense. Wilton McDonald, big up Wilton from Miami. I hope the weather's lovely over there.
I'm sure
or
it
Florida. I can't remember. It's Miami or Florida he lives. I can't remember. But I think this was the man that he threw his TV out of his apartment when he walked or something, letting the goal, and he chucked his TV out of the apartment. Was that you, Wilton? Let me know in the chat. If it does, it's such a funny story.
I hope there was nobody walking on the street below.
I think he was lucky, but I think it was when he says Angie P will not do anything less than the other managers. The fact remains that he will need the full backing of the club on his choice of players, not the owners, the chairman or the board. We have to wait.
We're hoping that's the way it goes. I'm sure he's got his people primed to ask the right questions on Monday.
Look,
who has control over what, and how much am I getting to spy on players, spending players?
We've watched Celtic quite a lot, Philip, over the years, and we've seen them. Celtic and Rangers always win every year, apart from when Aberdeen won. Okay, so it's sort of a given thing that Celtic or Rangers are going to win. But this is the first time, even when they played Real Madrid in the Champions League, they played them off the park.
Yeah, they did this season. They did, yeah.
So, is this the best ever Celtic side you've watched? And do we have that? We got that coming to Tottenham. Are we going back to the Poch years again, but with a more experienced manager that can get us over the line to win trophies?
I would think Poch's style of play and Postecoglou are fairly similar. I would think the one will complement the other. And so if that's the case, then really, it possibly will. I mean, let's face it. The most enjoyable years I've had watching the Spurs team, apart from the one when we won trophies, was the 2 or 3 seasons when Poch really had us humming.
Yeah,
like the season 15-16 when we came third in the 2-horse race because of that second Newcastle result on the last day of the season. And then the following season when we came second, 17 wins and 19 at home. That's that's what I want to see back at Tottenham. And I see Postecoglou, if he could do it at Celtic, who, when he came into Celtic, they were probably in a worse position than we are now. Player-wise, morale-wise, every-wise. Now, I know we didn't have a great season. We still have quality players at that club. All we need is someone that gets the magic out of them and then onto the pitch. And Bob's your uncle. Or Angie's your uncle. Whatever you like.
Angie was your uncle. Anyway, I watched Celtic for the first time this year. Darren says, played very well. Do you have any doubts about him wanting to come? He looks loved there and he looks happy. Look, I think he's out of contract now, which is one thing. So there'll be no payment to Celtic for him.
Yeah.
And I think he was saying goodbye, Philip. But will he sit down tonight with a glass of wine or a beer or whatever with the players or the backroom staff or with the owners and thinking, do you know what? I've got a chance here. We could do well in the Champions League.
Yeah, I somehow think his brief is going to be wider than that. He knows Celtic are going to be challenging for everything in Scotland again next season, right? And maybe he wants to have another crack at it, but he's done it. And to me, he looks like a guy that enjoys a challenge. And what greater challenge could you have of coming to Tottenham Hotspur, who missed out on Europe for the first time in 13 years, right? It gives him one match a week. Gives him plenty of time to get his squad the way he wants it, right? Plus the fact you can be sure, like whatever money he is on at Celtic, I don't know what his salary is. It's probably about $2 million a year. I would say roughly. Daniel Levy can offer him $5 million a year and still be paying him $10 million less than he's paying Conte.
Yeah.
But money is going to play a point here. You make him a decent offer to come, and I think he will come. If he likes a challenge, what greater challenge could he go for?
I know. The man to bring Spurs back from the dead.
Well, because we give them mouth-to-mouth resuscitation anyway. We're quite dead yet.
Wilton says, yes, Dermot, I did throw my TV over the balcony. Thankfully, I didn't hit anyone, or I would still be eating porridge. The weather here in Florida is still hot, but lots and lots of rain.
And what was the reason for yes, Your Honour, the reason I threw the TV out. You can blame Tottenham. They lost the match just by threw it out the window.
No, it's something to do with Ian Walker.
Oh, was it? Okay, right, okay.
I think it's something to do with that. And Dara says, he's out of contract. Very good. So there you go. That's all up with the chat. Now, Philip, the last week at Spurs.
Look, it sounds very doom and gloom. That doesn't the last week at Spurs.
But the thing is, Philip, we started last Saturday. We did a show. We broke the news that Nagelsmann was coming to Tottenham, and it'd be all sorted out by the mid to end of that. Now they always say a week in politics is a long time. A week is it a week? Yeah. A week in politics, a week in football is
an eternity.
It's an eternity. Look, we are going to go through the bits with the news in this podcast, and you also can get this podcast on Spotify and also on Amazon Music as well, where it will be uploaded after this live podcast is finished. So if you want to get to listen to this or listen to all our other podcasts, you can find them on Spotify under THFC Till I Die, and also on Amazon Music and two others. I can't remember the other two, but we're all on all the podcasts software, so we are there. So Philip, last week at Spurs, we started last Saturday with Nagelsmann. We started this Saturday with Ange Postecoglou.
Starting next Saturday with Sam Allardyce. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. It just came out. You know,
he didn't do too bad. 20 grand a day for 25 days.
Yeah, it's all right. You know?
No, but anyway, where do you want to start with the last week? Do you want to start last Saturday and then we'll take it what happened in the week?
No, we'll start Saturday where we thought we'd get Nagelsmann in. It was coming that there was second thoughts about him coming, and then we turned up at Leeds on Sunday afternoon and relegated them with a decent performance, I have to say. Even though the fact that Villa beat Brighton, it meant it was no good to us, really. We've settled for no Europe for a change. Then what happened after that? It was Nagelsmann for a couple of days, and then suddenly that went cold.
It all went quiet. Just a quick David Clark. He says, if this Celtic coach wanted to stay, then why did he let his contract run down? He's only on a 12-month rolling contract. Yeah. And as far as I believe, Celtic never started talking to him.
Yeah.
So
I think the Celtic board must have been taking lessons from our board. I don't think they realise when they have a good thing on their hands.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
that's true. Just a quick few more people before we carry on, Philip. We've got Christopher Inshaw. Big up, Christopher. See if he comes into clubs with no background subs, so that helps too.
That's true.
Yeah,
he doesn't make a training. He doesn't make his own coaching staff with him, which is quite unusual.
It
is.
But
that means then, if he does come, that means there could still be a place for Ryan Mason at the club.
Yeah,
he might want someone that's been there already to help him see the teach him the ropes.
Yeah, I don't think that. I don't think that'd be a bad thing anyway, Philip.
No, I don't think so.
No, Jose Garcia. Good evening, gentlemen. Hope you're both well.
Yeah.
Listen, if you are watching this on YouTube and Twitch as well, but on YouTube, please get your memberships. They're only $2.99 for a membership. It's as cheap as chips. You get more money then you pay for Netflix on here. We're better than Netflix. I say that, and Philip would say that. You get more for your buck. And also, if you want to get ahead of the chat, it is quite jumping tonight. Do make it into a super chat. It does help the channel grow. It helps us we're trying to improve the channel for next season. New graphics, new equipment, more guests, better footage. So it does all cost. And we do this. We're not paid to do this, are we, Philip? And just a point, why we do ask for super chats and memberships. Do you want to explain why? I know times are tough out there, and we've got the cost of living crisis, and we do try to be fair as we can. But do you want to explain to people why we do ask for this, so they sort of understand why?
Yeah, because the super chat money that comes in, what we do is like you appreciate the technology that we have to use to bring these programs to you is actually quite expensive. Because you can see it's instantaneous. We can broadcast around the world, and obviously that comes at a cost. So what we want to do next season, we're upgrading our graphics. We're looking around to see to come up with a new scoreboard, new clock. We'll have to have a situation where when we're doing a watch along with the matches, that both teams are available at either side of the screen, things like that, and that all costs. And that's why, while we absorb most of the costs ourselves, it is any super chats that would be very, very grateful to defer some of the charges that we're going to have, because come August, you're going to notice a huge difference on this channel. We're going to be moving up with some state-of-the-art technology, and I think you'll be impressed.
Yeah, and the thing is, we do this because we love doing it, but we do it for you. This channel was made by Spurs fans for Spurs fans. Tottenham don't pay us to do this, and look, we do it. It's like Dave's channel. It's like all the other channels. We do rely on you. We rely on you for the help. So we do understand it is tough out there. We do get it, but every little helps.
Every little bit, and it's very, very, very gratefully received.
And we've got Paul Browning as well. So Celtic board already knew Deutsch on their horizon, as far as I know. Any truth? I have actually, when I saw that comment come in, I did actually WhatsApp my source. So I'm waiting for a reply on that, Paul. So I will let you know. And Lee says if he leaves Celtic where he's got everything to come to Tottenham, it shows he wants to be here. He won't be like those managers we've had who think they're doing us a favour by being here. And I think that is the biggest thing, isn't it, Philip?
It is. I know Celtic are the biggest club in Scotland. They won X, Y, and Z, but Tottenham Hotspur are a bigger club than Celtic in a lot of ways. Okay, maybe not in the trophy cabinet, but we've got we're one of the richest clubs in the world. Our coefficient in Europe is way ahead of Celtic's. Because no matter how good Celtic are in the domestic thing, they're absolutely brutal in Europe. So you're right there, Lee. He is coming to a club where he wants to be. He's not like Antonio Conte. I thought he was doing us a favor. And Jose Mourinho thinks he's doing everybody a favor wherever he goes. And by the way, can I just say, I hope that UEFA throw the book of Jose Mourinho for the disgraceful antics after the Europa League final. He deserves to be banned for a couple of seasons for that, because Anthony Taylor and his family were attacked at the airport leaving Rome, wherever they were leaving from, by Roma fans. It was disgraceful, and all down to Jose Mourinho, who thinks he's above the law, but he ain't.
No. Rant over.
Rant over.
Right. Chris was asking, are you doing any more watch-alongs? We are. We were due one today, but for reasons...
it didn't work out.
It didn't work out, so we couldn't do it. But we are doing one for the Champions League final next Saturday. And we are going to start doing them from pre-season, but all the pre-season games, me and Philip will be bringing you them as they come in now.
At 4 o'clock in the morning.
At 4 o'clock in the morning, yeah. Blurry-eyed.
That's the time they'll be on that.
Yeah, blurry-eyed, sort of one eye open, one eye closed. And me and Philip sort of talking gibberish to you, but we are going to bring you to them live. So that is
more gibberish than usual, right?
Yeah, and I talk a lot of gibberish, to be fair.
We all do.
Jose Garcia says, just watch the Scottish Cup final. I must say that team I saw today would survive comfortably in the Premier League. I want to get into that. That's one of my questions I've got in my head to ask you about that. So we'll get on to that later. Howard, big up. His question is, can he repeat this trick at Tottenham? He was able to thrive in the league without any real challenges. Well, I sort of disagree with that in a way. By bringing in superior players from a parallel league. Well, look, I want to answer this first, Philip, and then I'll let you answer it. Look, the Scottish League is it's the same as any other league. You've got to beat what's in front of you. I get it. It's not at the same standard, say, as the Premier League. But I think the Scottish League is a little bit like the Italian League, if you know what I mean, the way football is played. There's only a few teams. A bit like the Spanish League. It's either Barcelona or Real Madrid win the league every year. Or you might have Atletico Madrid or one other team win it on the odd season.
Yeah.
So if you had, for me, Celtic are the best team in the world. For me personally, I think Celtic are. I think they should have a match between them and Man City, the best team in Britain. If they both do the treble, there should be a match between the Battle of Britain. Who would be the best side? I mean, what's your thought on that? But
yeah,
for
I
me,
wouldn't say
the
they're the best team in the world.
a challenge. But
yeah, it is. I mean, they've got Rangers, they've got Aberdeen, they've got Hibs and Hearts. Yeah. That's about it, really. Now, as you rightly say, you can only play what's in front of them. But I think saying they're the best team in the world at the minute, I think Man City might disagree with that somehow.
Yeah, I tell you why I say that, Philip, and I'm going to back up why I said that. They broke a record today for the most team in the world to do a treble. Yeah. That's the 8th treble.
Can you put the word statistically in front of it? And they're the best team in the world.
Okay, yeah.
Statistically, they are. On the pitch, not.
You know, I can't say that. So, yeah.
I know, but I mean, statistically, they are the best team in the world. And the records don't lie. And fair dues to them. Fair dues to them. But I think to call them the best team in the world on the pitch, I think Barcelona, Real Madrid, Man City, probably some of the teams in South America and Brazil might disagree with that. But that's not to say they've done. They can only win the trophies they go in for. They've won them all this season. Fair dues to them. And the fact that we're saying that can he do it again when he comes to Tottenham? Yes, he can, because I think the guy is everywhere he's gone. He went to Australia when they were nothing. And Paul Beattie will tell you how good Paul Beattie in Sydney has been banging the drum for Postecoglou for the last 3 months, ever since Conte left. And he's been saying, that's who I want to see at the club. And at a time when people say, yeah, right, But now he's going to be right. It looks like he's going to be right. So the guy improved the Japan League, no end. And look what he's done to Celtic. Now, but this is his biggest challenge coming. There's no doubt about it. It's okay going to Celtic when you have 3 or 4 competitors. You're now coming to a league where there's 8 or 9 players, or 8 or 9 teams going for the top 6. Yeah. So it's a huge ask for him, and I think he's up for the task from what I've seen.
Look, for me, Philip, look, I loved the way Celtic played, and I loved how they played today. I mean, me and Derville have watched a lot of Tottenham in the last 6 years, and Derville has rightly said we are boring to watch.
Yeah.
Do you know,
my missus says the same. My missus said to me, what the hell are you watching that lot for? They're boring. Yeah. I
mean, and you look at Celtic, and when she says to me, look at how that team play. If he goes to Tottenham, that's something we should be all be excited about, because it doesn't matter. You look at Arsene Wenger. He managed in Japan, and he came over to the lads down the road, right? Everybody asked Arsene who.
Yeah, and Alex Ferguson was. I mean, he was the last manager in Scotland to really challenge Celtic and Rangers when he managed Aberdeen. Yeah. Since then, it's been Celtic and Rangers dominance practically every year. And so he's.
I said before we get to your point, Aaron, and big up, great see you and Aaron Dub. Just want to make a point. I said on another show we did, Philip. I said Bill Shankly, Kenny Dalglish, and Alex Ferguson. Yeah. Now, they're the only 3. I know Dalglish come down as a player, but he did manage, Philip, and he did win stuff as a manager, right? They're the only 3 managers, I think, that have come down to the English League and been really successful. Now, Juxteen, I think, went to Leeds and wasn't successful at Leeds, if I'm correctly. Yeah. So, would you put any more managers there? Would it only be Bill Shankly, Alex Ferguson, and Kenny Dalglish?
Well, it's some trio to be following on from. I mean, they're all excellent managers in their own way, and we can only hope that he lives up to that. And I'd love to. Nothing would give me greater pleasure for him to come down and equal or even better. Okay, it's very hard to better them, but at least get the trophy score going at Tottenham. Yeah. I mean, you can imagine that the night that I'll tell you, if he won a trophy with us next season, they put a statue of him up beside the ground quicker than Bill Nicholson. Yeah. The way things are, the fans are so frustrated at the minute. So
and Aaron says I refer to my previous point. Sorry, Aaron, the chat's just humping, so I do apologise for missing your point. It says we need a complete squad overhaul to play Angie Ball. It would take time and patience from the fans, a couple of years minimum. Look, I don't think, and then before we welcome 2 more people into the chat, I don't think we're that far away from a good side. You get 2 centre backs, a new goalkeeper, and a cap.
midfielder. Yeah, that's all.
And you're there.
And keep Harry Kane.
Look, I think Harry will stay. I was watching the Tim Sherwood podcast. I don't know if you've watched it yet, Philip.
I haven't seen it yet.
No, I would hardly. I know you don't like TalkSport and Simon Jordan. I get that, but these podcasts are absolutely brilliant. He done one with John Barnes, and it was really interesting. He done one also with who did he do one as well with? I forget. He done one of his earlier ones. He done one with a boxer there a while ago, and he really does go in depth in the questions he asks. And with Tim Sherwood, it was a case of he always looked at youth at Tottenham, and he was the one that brought in Harry Kane. Yeah. Now, the story went, Harry Kane, he trained on the Friday. Tim Sherwood said, right, Harry, you're playing on Saturday. And Harry looked at him, basically saying, it's about bloody time. And Tim Sherwood liked that. Do you know what I mean? That because he was buzzing and everything.
Yeah.
So he went in there, had his lunch, and he said, Franco Baldini came in and said, Daniel Levy wants to see you. So he went upstairs anyway, and Franco Baldini sitting there, Tim Sherwood sitting there, Daniel Levy at the desk. And Daniel says, right, what's the team for tomorrow? Now, Tim Sherwood said Daniel has never asked any manager or him or any other manager since that he knows of about the team, who's going to be in the team. He's never asked about the team. So he said to him, he went through the team, he says, I'm going to play Harry Kane. And he asked, well, what about Sardano, who was 28 million, our striker at the time? Yeah. Yeah. And he says, well, I don't think he's good enough. He hasn't scored, and I'm going to pick Harry. Well, there's a bit of a problem. We've accepted a 600,000 bid from Leicester.
Oh,
well, it was. I don't know if it was a bid, but there was a bid coming in.
Yeah.
And Franco Baldini piped up or said something like he wasn't good enough. So Tim Sherwood, that's who said that. Franco Baldini said Harry Kane will not be a Champions League player. Now, and Tim Sherwood stuck to his guns. He made his debut for Spurs, scored the next day, scored there, and then the rest is history.
God almighty. That's how close we came to losing him.
Yeah. So if it's within that podcast, you need to watch it, because it's a great insight into his. I mean, Tim Sherwood played for a great Blackburn side under Kenny Dalglish that won the league.
Yeah.
And he was on about teams bottling it and Tottenham, and he said Tottenham will come back. We need to look at the youth and bring the youth in. So
that's what I've been saying all along. Yeah.
We've got Lewis. Yeah, big up Lewis. He says, to be honest, I think Andrew will bring the fans bring the fans down, which is needed at the moment. Yeah, we need to be brought down a peg or two. FTSM column. Well, I don't know, column, if it's a good afternoon or
commiserations column. You lost today. I tell you one thing, put up a hell of a performance.
Well, I spoke to Colin and he said United. He didn't think United played that well. So,
well, they kept. I mean, City were no way dominant in that match.
No. Well, the lamppost came on anyway, and I'm sure Colin was happy to see.
He nearly scored, though. He nearly scored.
He did, actually.
And by the way, can I just say something before that? Just about Postecoglou. You know this campaign that's been going on about we don't want Postecoglou at Tottenham.
Yeah.
I was talking to a Celtic fan today now, and don't quote me on this. This is allegedly, right? But it appears that this campaign is being supported by Celtic fans. That they've heard about it and they're getting behind it because they don't want Postecoglou to leave their club. Interesting, isn't it?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love Celtic fans. They're the best fans in the world, apart from us. We're the second. We've got Mia in as well. Big up, Mia. I hope you're doing well. And Mia, I want to thank Mia. She's starting to do one of your thumbnails, which we've used today for our podcast show. So thank you, Mia, for doing all that work. And look, I look forward to see the rest. As I said, we are making big changes. So Is Colm an Inverness fan? No, I
No.
think Colm is a Celtic fan, but he's a very big Man United fan and one of the nicest. We have him on here quite a lot, don't we, Philip?
Yeah,
So
he's a great lad. Great lad.
he is a great lad.
He's
Well,
really
look,
even. He's so even in his criticisms or whatever and praise of clubs. He's not like a normal fan who can only see one club. He can see the whole picture.
Yeah, he can. Look, Philip. Look, then we went over to Tuesday. Right, so this is now carry on, and then we got the news that there was been war in the Spurs board. All right, you got half the board wanting Mason, Daniel Levy. I want Angie. He's my man. I'm going to get him. The board now give it to Ryan Mason. Now we did another show in that, and we had mad numbers for it. So thank you so much for everyone who's like. We nearly got to 100 likes on that, which is the most we've ever got on any shows we've done. So thank you so much for that. So we had that, Philip. Ryan Mason, look, I when I broke the news that afternoon, we were doing Newsbeat and the news came through about it. Ellie was where you are, and she literally just deflated back in the chair as we all did. And Mia was just going, oh, for God's sake, no. So why do you think the Spurs bought, some of the Spurs bought Ryan Mason? Is it a cheap option, or do you think there could be a bit of a coup happening to get rid of Levy?
Yeah, it's hard to know, isn't it? But like, I know Daniel Levy has his faults, and we'd be the first to criticise the things he's done at the club. But if he has dug his heels in and said, no, Ryan Mason is not getting this job, then I have to take my hat off to him and say fair dues. And then he's able to shout down the rest of the board, which he can do as chairman. He, you know, he doesn't have to bow down to anybody. Now, I take it Donna Cullen is one of these ones. She's been, that name has been cropping up quite a lot recently as being maybe the bitch in the kitchen, if you know, for want of a better word, causing trouble and throwing her weight around and wanting this, that, and the other. I really don't know who the other board members are. I really don't know. I don't really care as long as they don't get their way on this one. Now, Ryan Mason, I have every time for him. He's a Spurs player. He'll be an excellent manager in due course, but we just don't need him now. To bring him in as manager now, it would be like letting the air out of a balloon in the fan base. It would just totally deflate everybody.
Yeah.
Postecoglou now is coming in at a time when he's after winning a trophy with Celtic. That will give the fans a lift. Mason would give us the opposite.
Yeah, I've just been given a bit of breaking news. It's expected that today will be Angie's last game. So they are looking like that. Now, also, Philip, on the Man United stuff, because we were covering that as well.
Yeah.
Now, nobody won't find out anything for definite until Monday. Tomorrow, Sunday, or Monday at the latest, because everyone that's signed some document saying you can't talk about it. But the rumours that are going around up there, that's that Jim Ratcliffe has actually won the bid to buy Manchester United. And the Qataris now will turn their attention to another Premier League club.
That's not what I've heard now.
We had it in the week that they cooling their interest on Tottenham. Now, there was a rule, wasn't there? Something about they couldn't...
No, I'll tell you what it is, the rumour that went out during the week. Now, again, this is the Qatari end of things. If they fail to buy Manchester United, the talk is they want to take minority stakes in 3 European clubs, one in Italy, one in Spain, and one in Brazil as well. So it's 2 European, 1 Brazilian, which means that those teams can't play each other in Europe, right? Yeah. But the fact is there are teams that aren't going to be in Europe anyway. Now, if that's the case, then the Tottenham thing is dead in the water. But I can't really get over. I can't understand why they go for a team like Sampdoria in Italy who've been relegated, Santos in Brazil, who Pele used to play for. I think the other one was Malaga in Spain. And then they have a chance here of getting Tottenham Hotspur, one of the most richest clubs in the world. So I just can't figure that one out. And I'm hoping that the Radcliffe bit might be right, but the other bit we've heard is wrong.
Yeah. Do you think also with the board as well, while we're on about the board, that all this about the board wanting Mason and Levy wanting Angie and that, and the disagreements that have been in the board over the last couple of months over transfers and managers and everything. Do you think there's been a split because of what Conte said in his press conference before he left, or do you think that the split was a long time coming?
I think Conte's speech might have been the straw that broke the camel's back. It was festering and building up all the time, and that was a safety valve gone.
Yeah,
and yes, you could be right. You could be right. But let's face it, what he said was you can't argue with it. what he said was absolutely right, but the timing of it was with a headed caption, "Please sack me for saying this," which duly happened anyway.
Yeah.
But he wanted out. He wanted out.
Yeah. Now, I have got his interview here. Now, I don't know if we can play it. It's off Twitter, so I don't know how that would work, Philip, but we actually have found the interview Ange gave to Scottish television. So
Okay,
shall we try and play it?
Try it, yeah, try it. It might get cut off midstream, but we'll try it.
We'll try it just to give people what he's saying.
Congratulations! You've been, it's been spoken about for a long time. How does it feel to finally have secured the treble?
Yeah, no, it's a mixture of sort of huge relief and just great pride, and in the whole group. I mean, it's been a phenomenal effort from the lads this year. Coming off the back of last year, when fair to say it was unexpected that the double we got. This is the one trophy that eluded us, and we kind of made it our aim and ambition this year to be better than we were last year, stronger, and that meant filling the gap that was there. And credit to the boys; they've been outstanding.
And you've spoken about this in so much detail about just what the Scottish Cup means to you. I mean, how does it feel standing here now, hoping and knowing that there'll be kids in Australia watching this up in the middle of the night like you used to do?
Yeah, no, it's it is surreal. I pinch myself in times to think that I'm the one out there. It's usually me on the other side of the fence or watching on the TV screen. So it's a great feeling, and great to have my family here, my kids here, and they get to see it. And it's been a hell of a journey to get to this spot. And it's bizarre how I've landed here, but I have.
And it was one last push from your players today for the season. And Inverness, to be fair to them, equipped themselves well.
Look, it's a cup final, and whenever there's a massive underdog, you kind of know you don't want to be the story on the other end of it. And I thought we were a little bit nervous at times today. We tried to force things. We were in control of the game, but we had to settle down a little bit. The goal helped us do that, keep our football simple. But credit to Inverness, they had a go at us. They tried to stop us, but again, the beauty about this team is that whatever the challenge is out there, they'll find a way to get through.
And you had to call on all of your players to do it, but you look at your recruitment, you look at what you've achieved, and Martin said it. We say congratulations to you so often, but did you envisage achieving this level of success in the period of time that it's happened?
Look, I didn't have any clear sort of ambitions and goal apart from I knew we had to have success. I knew we had to have success quickly at this football club, particularly coming off a trophyless season, and I wasn't going to put a limit on how far we could go. So, I keep telling the lads that, whatever limit we've reached, our job is to keep pushing on, see what we can do. And the core of this team from last year to this year, I mean, the 3 goal scorers today were pretty much one of the first 3 I signed last year, that front 3, and it's been incredible. But along the way, everyone's contributed, and we've had to have contributions from everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, I want to thank you from a neutral point of view for the football you've exposed us to over the last 2 years, because it's been fantastic to watch and something I've not seen in 8 years of being up here. How long have you coached teams in this way, or did you come into Celtic and knew the players could do this, or is it something you've done for a long time?
Sort of always had, the underlying principles of, I think every manager does, of how he wants his teams to play, Marvin. But as the game changes, you need to evolve. I mean, I've been doing this for 26 years, so the game looks a lot different today than when I first started managing. And the idea is that, you maintain your core principles, what you believe in, what you feel is you as a person, because ultimately you've got to be genuine. And then as the game evolves, you've got to stay a step ahead of it. And, when I came here, I kind of knew, the picture of what I wanted to do in terms of the way the team could play. And I guess the opportunity for me was that really the team had been dismantled. So it wasn't a total blank sheet of paper, but I could really build a team in the image of the football I wanted to play. And, that was the opportunity. The risk was, if I got it wrong, it would be a disaster. So fortunately, I got it right.
We're going to have to stop filibustering. Everybody wants you to stay at everybody wants you to stay at the football club. All right, okay.
I appreciate that. Thanks, Martin.
Have you got much planned for the next few days?
I'm going on holidays on Tuesday. I cannot wait. Take the family away, and it's felt like a long season. And I think because of the World Cup, I mean, you have to remember some of our boys are at a World Cup mid-season. I mean, it's crazy the levels they've reached, considering the demands on them this year. And I think for all of us, and you can see in our performances sort of the last 4 or 5 weeks, the boys are getting close to being on empty, and I think we all need a good break.
And I think the fans want to know. I know there's been a lot of talk this week. I know you didn't want to talk about it until the game was done, but will you be here next season, or is your future now something you have to consider?
Again, Emma, I didn't want to talk about it before, and I didn't say I'd talk about it after. What I want to do is I want to enjoy this because, and it's, people might think it's selfish of me, but I'm not thinking of talking about anything else. But, to do what we've done today, just take a little chunk of history for ourselves at this unbelievable football club with unbelievable success. I owe it to my family, my loved ones, everyone around me to enjoy this and not talk about other things. There'll be time for that, and it's not today.
Do you feel there's still unfinished business here, though? More to achieve?
There's always more to achieve in everything. I think the day I wake up and say I've done everything I need to do, then I may as well just pack it all up. I've been the same from the first day I started doing this. I love what I do. I'm passionate about it. I want to be, create teams that are special and be part of special moments, and that's what I'll try and do.
And what about Tottenham? Any contact directly or indirectly?
See, again, Emma, you're talking about things that are taking me away from enjoying this moment, and I'm not going to let that happen.
Fair play. Enjoy a few cold ones tonight?
Oh, absolutely. And a couple of warm ones as well. So, yeah, no worries. All good.
And just been a pleasure. Well done again. Thanks so much.
Brilliant.
Right. Well, that was
interesting.
that was his interview. Now, I thought we would get cut off, but we didn't. Thankfully. Thank you, YouTube,
very
for
interesting.
playing nicely. Philip, I'm going to get your thoughts and my thoughts in a minute. We've got 70 people watching us in the house, so please hit that like button, hit that subscription button, hit the memberships, and get in the super chat if you can. Put into the chat, do you think he's coming or was he not coming? Philip, do you know what? That's left me really undecided if he wants to come. I don't think he knows now if he wants to come to Tottenham.
Funny, I have the opposite. He's coming. He's coming.
Yeah.
Because that would have been, tonight, would have been the absolutely perfect opportunity for him to say to all Celtic fans, I'll be here next season. He didn't say it. He juked the issue. He quite rightly said, I don't want to talk about it tonight. But all the body language, all that means to me, I think they can start putting his name plate over the manager's door in Tottenham.
Yeah. I tell you one thing. I saw it now. I wanted to play the full interview because I wanted to hear what he had to say.
He's a good lad. I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
That guy knows what he wants.
Yeah.
He's done it. He's been successful wherever he's gone.
He has.
He's focused. He knows the type of football that I want. That's the bit I love to hear. And we've seen the type of football that he wants. And it's Tottenham football.
It is. It is. So look, let us know what you think in the chat. Do you like what you hear from him? Do you like what you've seen this season? I'm trying to catch up with the chat as well because while that was going on, I didn't want to distract anyone from that interview he done. Now, George said, big up, George. Haven't seen you before in the chat. Welcome. Please hit that like button, subscription button. He seems like a likable guy.
Yeah. He does. Yeah. I'll tell you, do you know what I like about him too? He doesn't talk in riddles. Do you know when we're having contest press conferences, it's like trying to translate a Shakespearean play, what he was actually saying. What he said there is straight down the middle. There can be no double meanings. And I like that. I like that a lot. I think we're not saying they'll make us contenders, but we've got to be better than what we are at the moment. We've got to, by within a couple of seasons, I can see us being contenders. Not next season, but the season after. Yeah. You've gone. Dermot?
Sorry.
Yeah, you were on mute there for a while.
I was on mute there. That's bad. That's not good. I've been too long doing YouTube now to put myself on mute. My biggest worry is recruitment in the other 6 or 7 clubs. They are doing the major recruitment. We ain't. We're weeks, if not months behind. We don't even have a director of football. Now, look, I didn't really want this podcast to be the Ange Postecoglou podcast, but it sort of ended up being that sort of podcast. So look, we're only on for another 10 minutes anyway, so we will probably continue on with it and finish off with it. Look, For me, Philip, I don't think he needs a director of football. He knows the players he wants. And if he goes to Celtic, he brings 3 or 4 of them players from Celtic in. I mean, we have you're bringing the Japanese player, you bring in Jota.
2 Japanese players.
You bring in this captain as well for Celtic. He's very much about homegrown players. Isn't he?
Well, he brings in like the Japanese guys have come in there, and the Jota is Portuguese. I'll tell you one thing: whatever goodwill he has leaving Celtic, it'll soon evaporate if he starts bringing half the team down to London with him.
But then players will follow. But he seems to have that players will follow him through a brick wall.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah, true.
And we had that with Poch.
That's true, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think he's a guy that generates huge personal loyalty, you know, and guys would go through a brick wall for him, which is what we want. Because would you think any of our team would have gone through a brick wall for Conte? Not a bit.
No, they wouldn't go through a brick. They wouldn't even go through a brick wall for their own. You know, for anybody.
They wouldn't punch their way out of a paper bag.
No. Big up William Kelly with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Really appreciated them. William, I'm getting my cockerel on the 19th.
It's my fault, William. I'm going to bring it to the match when I'm meeting Dermot. I didn't want to post it in case it got broke.
So I'm really looking forward to getting it and having it up behind me or having it somewhere. But he says, even before Conte came to Tottenham, Ange was the one I wanted. And hopefully it's about to happen. So,
and that's coming from someone in Australia who knows what Ange did down there.
Yeah.
So that's it.
But big up, William. Thank you so much for the super chat and big man. And thank you, son. I hope you're doing well. You and the family and the young lads doing grand. So big up. Philip, do you want to go through some more of the chat there? I've just got to see if we've got any more.
I'm a bit lost here. We'll just see where we are.
Well, that's all right. We've got Adrian Soccer said here, we can reach agreement with players before the 14th of June when the summer transfer window opens, but we may wait until we have a new manager. See, that's on. So that is the point, Philip. The window doesn't open until the 14th of June.
Yeah.
Well, so we're not really that far behind, are we?
No. Well, he's going on holidays on Tuesday, which is the 5th or 6th of June, right? Go away for a week. Back he comes, 14th of June, installed at Tottenham and buying all the players that we need. He said, hopefully. But hopefully. No, we're not that far behind, really. No, we're not. I think getting rid of players is going to be as much his job as getting them in, because we do need to clear out some of the rubbish that we have at the club.
We do. We've got Elvis Cowlin said, will Levy let him do what he wants? I think he will do.
He may have to this time, because this is last chance saloon for Levy.
Yeah, it really is. And then we've got Cheese from John. Big up, John. He says, hey, guys, Big Ange goes on holiday on Tuesday. So a big couple of days ahead. And look, that's the news. I was breaking earlier. I put it back here. I've been told today that the manager job at Spurs is his. If he chooses to take the job, it could be done by Monday or Tuesday. So we could be looking at Monday. Really, if we want to get it done, Monday could be the day, Philip.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great? You know, I mean, how many days is it now since Conte left? 70, 75, and I've lost count.
Yeah.
It will be great. Whatever we do, we have to get a manager in. We can't do the Nuno stunts when the manager's not appointed way into the close season.
Yeah.
Get him in now, get him a chance to evaluate the squad, which he's probably done already, and get moving. And we've only got the first friendly match is only in about 6 weeks' time.
It is.
You know, so there's very little time to get everything sorted out.
Yeah. There's been a report, Philip, but just quickly go through these. There's a report that Harry Kane has turned down the move to one club this summer, and the Bild have claimed that Harry Kane has rejected the chance to join Bayern Munich this summer. So that, I mean, did you hear any rumours over when you were in Munich?
No, I didn't actually. No, I was more looking for Nagelsmann. But we've also heard too that Real Madrid are looking for him.
Yeah.
So
you can't really turn down Real Madrid, can you?
Difficult.
Yeah.
You know, but then again, you know, if we appoint a manager on Monday or Tuesday, Harry Kane likes to look at what's coming. Harry mightn't go anywhere.
No. We've got what we've got here. We've got Keith. Edward saying, I don't think Ange will take any crap from the players. No, he won't. Ellie's saying he's coming. Ange boss
Costa
Costa. I think that was for my benefit than anyone else. So cheers, Andy. Andrew Gregory says Levy would look at a Japanese player coming in as an opportunity to open another commercial avenue.
Well, if he's a good player and scores goals or can defend, then that's a benefit.
Aaron said Ange ain't an instant fix. Fans will need to back him and give him a couple of years. Well, look, I don't think he needs a couple of years. He went into Celtic and won a trophy in his first season, Philip?
Two trophies.
Two trophies in his first season. Second season, he's done the treble. He knows what he wants. Cup. Yeah, so he knows what he wants. And he will get it. So yeah. Then we've got Carl Simpson. Kane wants Real Madrid. Would you sell him?
Oh,
you can't turn down Real Madrid.
You can't turn down Real Madrid. No. It's but the thing about what have Real Madrid got to pay us with? That's the only problem. Yeah. The cash wise, they're not too strapped at the minute. So maybe they'll offer us players and cash if that's what happens.
Yeah. We've got Minnie Moo 95. She says, "Hi, cuz. This is my cousin. So, hello." Hello, Julianne and Kyle and the little one. So I hope Kyle's all right after Man United losing today. So yeah, sorry. But big up, Julianne. I hope you're all right. We've got Cheese Room. John says 69 days since Conte left.
That's right. Yeah.
Tomorrow will be day 70.
10 weeks. 10 weeks tomorrow.
10 weeks tomorrow. Ed M says the Bard is like the son of Germany.
Yeah, it is all right. Yeah. And star at my hamster.
Yeah.
Carry on.
I think that was the Daily Sport, Philip, not the
Sun.
Sun.
Sorry. I'm blaming the Sun. Sorry.
Yeah, if anyone wants to know what the Daily Sport was, the Daily Sport was a pretty rude newspaper back in the day.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Yeah, I'm saying nothing more about that. Right. It's been revealed today, Philip, that only 3 Premier League clubs features in the Forbes list and the world's most profitable sports clubs.
Yeah. And guess who's number 3? Ta-da.
Yeah. Now, the Dallas Cowboys, right, are the NFL are 1.17 billion. The New England Patriots, NFL, 623 million. Number 3 in big letters there's Tottenham Hotspur, Premier League, 414 million.
And then you have to get the top and third, isn't there?
Yeah, you go down then to 5th, Man United, 403 million. Then you go down to 10th, to Man City.
That's the one that I can't understand.
Yeah.
Are they cooking the books? Are they cooking the books there?
Yeah, when I saw that list first, Philip, that was the first. I said I did say that that doesn't look right.
Like money, no object, Manchester City, and they're only 10th in the money list. That shows you that they've got very creative accountants. Yeah. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, look, to be third there, Philip. That's a 3-year total operating income over 3 years.
Because it's not taking debt into consideration, which would considerably weaken our position, So, but it's still. But I mean, then anyone's forgetting about the debt. So why the hell aren't we spending 50 and 100 million on players?
But look at that, 1.17 billion.
That's incredible.
Jeez, that's incredible. But that is the top 10 of clubs. I mean, the Los Angeles Lakers NBA and the New York Giants NFL are tied on 8th place there, 333 million.
Like 7 of the top 10 are in America.
Yeah. Amazing. It shows where all the money is, doesn't it, Philip Bradley?
Yeah, it does.
We've got a few more people in here. We've got Howard said, imagine if Kane stays to run down his contract. How will Ange handle the trickle down impact in the dressing room? Plus characters like Richarlison and Dombele. Look, I think he'll come in and I think he will say, right, if you don't play for me, you're out the door.
Yeah. That's it. No messing. I mean, Australian people are very well known for straight talking. They tell you as it is. There's no beating around the bush about it. They'll tell you to your face whether you're doing a job or not. So yes, I think that's a very good point.
Ed M says, "What's the debt owed if these teams?" And there must be massive debts.
There must be massive debts. Yeah, and have you seen some of the contracts those NFL players are on?
Yeah,
absolute mind-boggling stuff.
And Cheese from John says, "Remember that this doesn't include the NFL club." Yeah, NFL clubs don't pay transfer fees either.
That's true.
So, yeah.
It's a distorted figure. It's really it's just it's for guidance only, really, you know.
Dara says the Daily Sport was massively informative.
It's like Dermot. I keep referring to this. Remember that Ronnie Barker series Porridge? He was in jail. And I said it was about the son. He says the other guy says, "Well, they get you a newspaper." He said, "Yeah, get me the Sun." He said, "Get me something to read as well."
Carl Simpson says, "Do we know when they're putting up the cockerel cock off yet?" Oh, for God's sake, I've just done it again. That's twice he's caught me now.
He's got you again. Gotcha.
I can't believe I said that.
Oh, Jesus, Carl, you want to watch yourself? You'd be putting you on the naughty step for that.
Oh, for God's sake. I cannot believe it. As twice. Oh, for God's sake.
Lovely.
Oh.
You're not getting the next time.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Ali's excited. Carl's going, yes. Oh, Lord. And Alexander Hilton, big up, says, Conte did the same thing with the under-16 when they won the double with the team, but has Hange actually used any in the games? Look, Drew is laughing. Christopher saying too much Daily Sport. Yeah, very funny. Well, Philip, the last thing we're going to talk about, of course, is our club captain, Hugo. He's asked to leave Spurs.
Yeah.
And look, this is his record at Tottenham, 2012 to 2013, 361 appearances, hasn't scored any goals, of course, club captain. And LEAEST signed for Tottenham Hotspur on the 31st of August 2012 for 10 million and 5 million variable. Leon also received a 20% of Loris' future transfer profit. He made his debut for Spurs in UEFA Europa League match against Lazio on the 20th of September 2012. The result of the match was 0-0. LEAEST started his first Premier League game against Aston Villa on the 7th of October 2012, keeping a clean sheet in the 2-0 home victory. Look, Philip, he's been at the club a long time.
Yeah.
He is I wouldn't call him a club legend, but he's been there a long time.
He's almost a legend, I have to say.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I'm just saying, like, I know he's got a year left in his contract, and we would be entitled to a transfer fee. But I hope Levy just allows him to go, free transfer. You know, as a gesture rather than fighting over a couple of million, which is basically all we get from him anyway. You know.
Yeah.
So I think I mean, I know he's had his problems in the last season or two, but I'll say one thing. I said it before. Hugo Lloris won us more games than he lost us. And I mean, some of the saves he's made over his career have kept us in competition. So all I say is, well done, Hugo. Thanks for your service and good luck for the rest of your career.
Yeah. John said he's disappointed by Hugo's lack of goal scoring. So am I. It's absolutely disgraceful. Should have scored more goals than that. Well, look, Philip, that's our podcast, our weekly 1 hour or bit podcast.
Yeah, in a bit.
Again, it was a bit late this week because of all the news and everything. Look, tomorrow on Monday can be very, very, very busy for us as a channel.
Monday, I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So, look, we will keep you up to date with any breaking news. If anything breaks between now and Monday morning, we will bring it to you live. Either myself, Philip, or Ellie, or whether Mia. Philip, thank you again for coming on.
No problem.
I love doing these podcasts. I love doing them live as well because we can interact with them.
They're good. I mean, the audience participation tonight was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
It really was. I mean, we had 70 people watching us, which is big numbers again for us.
Yeah.
I mean,
for a Saturday night, we should be out on the piss. You know, it's very good to be sitting in and watching us.
Yeah. There you go. Do you know? Yeah. We're the new sort of Anton Deck of YouTube world, Philip. So there you go.
Right. Okay. Right. And by the way, I see Andrew Gray trying to England beat Ireland in the cricket today, which is not unsurprising, but at least the fact that Ireland played a Test match at Lord's is tantamount to well done, lads.
Yeah, it is, and it's a big thing for Ireland actually. So it's only their second Test match, I think, in second or third Test match. I think
they haven't won one yet. That's the problem.
Well, we've done well in 2020 and 50 over.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And Carl's saying, "Great show, guys." Well,
thanks,
Carl, thank you. You've called me.
Try him again next week, Carl.
Try me again on Tuesday. And Aaron Duff is sending a €5 super sticker. I would tell you what that sticker is.
What it is.
And it's a pair pushing weight, saying keep it up. That's what
Very
it's
good.
saying.
Very good.
So it's there. So it's me trying to lose some weight, pumping iron. So that's what it is. So big up, guys. Well, listen, thank you so much for watching. This will be going up on Spotify and Amazon Music in the next couple of hours. So keep an eye out for that if you're going out shopping or everything. There is other podcasts up there. Philip, we're back on Monday with Newsbeat and for you and me.
And hopefully news of a new manager.
Yeah, so me and Philip will be back on Monday. Ellie's new show starts Monday morning at 10 o'clock. Ellie's morning Spurs show, where she's talking about the women's football and a bit about the men. And also she'll be doing something with Mia during the week as well. But whatever you do for the rest of your weekend, have a lovely weekend. Enjoy your bank holiday in Ireland.
Yeah.
Enjoy your Sunday in England. And sadly, you're going to work Monday. We get a bank holiday here, so we don't have to do that. But any news breaks, we'll bring to you first. Whatever you do, come on, you Spurs. And I'm going to say it, Philip,
Spurs.
in Ange we trust.
Yeah. I'll wait till Monday, but yeah, I know where you're coming from.
Well, look, I've been saying it all week. At least Mia,
true.
Mia hasn't told me to be quiet yet, so don't jinx it.
Not
But in
yet.
Ange we trust.
Give
Come
your
on,
head
you
a wobble.
Spurs. Yeah. Give your head a wobble. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.